for the students who are here to try to learn. But I'm sharing this because I want you to know that you're going to go through this. Not me, ICT. I'm not like you. I don't have to listen. Start making money. Start making money and start noticing people out there doing things that are nonsensical. Like things that make no sense at all. And they're in there saying that they're this and they're that. They can do this and they can do that. When you know better and you're quietly doing it on your own and you're doing things that they would never believe, then you'll think differently. But what happens when you get in a condition where maybe you didn't foresee the difficulty in the price and now you're in it? And you just know that that trade that you're in, it just simply will not move, but it hasn't gone to your stop loss, but it won't move. It's giving you every indication it's not going to go for you. Not in the manner that you want in terms of profits. It's probably going to go for your stop. But what do you do in that situation? Well, I can tell you as a young man, I was many times praying, God, please let this trade not stop me. Please let this trade go to my profit. And I promise I will stop trading this day. But I wasn't saying about overnight trading Globex. I didn't say anything about that. So technically I was being honest to some degree, but as soon as we cross midnight, I'm going to go right back at it again if he gets me out of it. And many times that prayer went unanswered. And I got stopped out. And I knew I should have got out of the trade, but I wouldn't take it off. What's the problem with that? And I hope you can appreciate me using my own examples and not talking about things hypothetically where you can feel victimized because you've gone through this yourself. But I want you to reflect on how you've endured this and what you were doing and what you were thinking, what you were dismissing as, no, that's just me not being patient for the trade. That's not me following a model. So I got to stick to my plan, my trading plan. Got to push my edge. See, when I was in those environments and in those trades, I didn't want to get out because I was afraid if I got out, I'd be wrong. And you probably hear YouTubers or see people type it out in their Discord rooms, their Telegram channels. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, whatever medium they would use, or maybe a Twitter space like this. And you hear them or read them say, I know as soon as I get out of this, it's going to move. When they say those things, they're channeling ignorance. They're manifesting it. They're basically showing you their cards that they don't know what they're doing. Because if they did know what they were doing, it wouldn't matter if they got out and it moved. When I was a younger man and I fell victim to this, I was afraid to get out of the trades, even though I knew they were against me. The probabilities have shifted. Are you aware of it while you're in a trade? That's what I'm teaching you. Those lessons can't be taught through a paragraph or a tweet with 130 characters or less. I can't do one single video and say, here it is. It's condensed in a nice little neat, easy ICT, real fast 5-minute trainer. The easiest way to do it, never have to worry about it again. That's the new flavor right now. You're not going to get it that way. You can't get it that way. It's something that has to be endured. Certain lessons have to be walked, and you have to feel it. You have to have that uncertainty. You have to know what it feels like to be in that environment and how you react in it. Some of you won't have these instances where you feel powerless to get out of it. You'll think, okay, this isn't working anymore. Let me just kill the trade. That right there, that is excellence. I wish I had that when I was younger. I didn't. I did not have that. I had no one telling me, like I'm telling you right now listening, that's what you want to do. Believe me when I tell you that is the answer. That's the solution. That's the thing you're supposed to do. And you're also indifferent to what happens after you get out. It's a bad relationship. What makes people go through all the turmoil after they break up with someone? When it's a bad relationship and you break up, the person or persons spend all that time afterwards when you're no longer together, and you're thinking, what could it have been if we stayed together? If he just would have stayed in our bed and not ventured out and did something else. If she would just understand me. You're doing something that isn't going to result in anything except for misery. So why do the same thing in your trading? That's what you're doing. You're recognizing, whether you realize it or not, even if you're new, you just know something's wrong. You are, but you won't admit it. Just like I couldn't admit it. My grandfather recently passed away at the time when I started. So I get all of this pressure placed on me as a young man, lost my father figure, lost my first wife, and I had something to prove. So I had all the most amazing disadvantages going into this. Plus, I hated where I was in life. So I know what it's like to feel pressure to change the way you are and where you are and how you live. I know what it's like to grow up and not have that family element supporting you. I know. Even being successful like I am now. For decades, my own mother didn't care. At some point, it doesn't matter. I don't worry about my mom. I don't worry about my father who's in prison I'll never be able to spend time with. They weren't supposed to have children. I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be aborted. But because a threat by my biological father, my mother gave birth to me and never raised me. You can have all of your disadvantages, all the excuses of why you think you won't be able to do this, and it's all a lie. That's something for you to reach for because you don't follow the rules. Because when I don't follow the rules, I fail. I can fail just like the newest person that starts in this. If I don't submit myself to the rules and engage when I'm supposed to engage and not engage when I'm not supposed to engage, because I know me. This is why you cannot learn this in a workshop over a week. You can't learn this in a month. You can't learn it in 120 days. You can't learn it in 6 months. You can't learn it in 1 year. But at 1 year, you get a good foundation. And that's when the real learning starts. And I have never, one time, sugarcoated that. And so many people out there are trying to take what I've taught and still actively teaching, and you're trying to condense it down to something to market it to people for the real fast approach. And I swear to God Almighty, if there was an easier, faster way, I would do it. It would come right out of my lips and it would be done. I wasted time in the beginning doing that. Just like those environments where if you get in a market environment where it's not conducive for a low resistance liquidity run, where it just runs real easy, like a hot knife through butter, just slices right through it. No problem at all, going right to where you knew it was going to go and doing it faster than you were hoping it would do it. That's what I'm teaching you to look for. But they're not every day like that. Those exist sporadically in the right times and the right settings. And because of all the uncertainty that we're seeing in the world right now, believe me, folks, we are witnessing the largest upheaval in the financial markets and financial systems, plural, globally. There's never been what we're about to endure. So you have to be careful. And I'm trying to be much more careful because of that. But if you get yourself in that situation, you may not believe in God, but somehow those 3 letters will come out your mouth. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. It's funny. I've listened to Muslims doing live streams and they'll utter his name, which is interesting. What are you doing? You're looking outside yourself and you're resisting. You're resisting the very thing that your conscience is telling you to do. Get the hell out of that trade. You know what's coming. Regret, loss, pain. But you want to arm wrestle it. You don't want to seem weak. I'm going down. They're going to carry me out on my shield. Well done. You blew your account. Maybe not on that trade. But the 6 or 7 trades after that one, that's what's coming. Why? Because you arm wrestled in an environment that you can't win. See, my tools in the right setting are flawless. That's why I can be to the tick. But have you noticed that it's not every single day that it's like that? Wait. Stop right there. Your motto is every week, every day, and it won't stop. You're right. But the market you're trading, that particular market won't be every week, every day. This is always occurring every day and every week, somewhere. Oh, well, there's your out. There's, of course, I didn't say anything other than that. That's how it's always been. When I was teaching Forex and primarily focusing on Forex, I had 2 pairs. Euro might not go to the tick, but cable did. And vice versa. And there were some times where both those 2 pairs that I worked with my group, sometimes the Aussie dollar did something perfect. You can't have an everyday day trading expectation of precision. You can't. You're just starting, okay? You can't do that. In the beginning, you have so many obstacles in front of you. You have no idea the difficulty in this. And it starts between your ears. And it remains between your ears. That 7-pound universe, that gray matter that we call our brain, has a wonderful, wonderful capability of telling you things at the wrong time. And sometimes it tells you exactly what you need to hear, and then you ignore it. So if you're in market environments where by rules, the ones I've taught you and I've even told you, and it breaks my heart to see these people tweeting to me, I lost this much money. I'm not trading. Why did you do it? You know your own reasons. And that's the thing that everybody has to learn about themselves. But you want to pretend that you're not going to be that person. You're not going to be one of those statistics that have all these other flaws inside them. Some of you may have mental illnesses that are beyond the scope of mine. And you'll have to wrestle harder and do things much more. Well, the word escapes me. It'll be harder for you. But you won't know that. You won't know that until you go through it. And buying courses and watching my videos or watching anybody else's videos or using this application they've created or following signals from somebody else, that will not make you exempt. No one's exempt from this. People fail because they don't incorporate their own flesh, because that's what's going to do you in. How many people do you know that educate pretend to be a mentor, will sit out here and tell you their own flaws. They'll never do that. Because number one, that will put a damper on sales. It'll make you question, oh, maybe this isn't the person I need to learn from. I would counsel you, anyone in any industry, any kind of endeavor whatsoever, if they're willing to show you where their weaknesses are and if they can identify them and then navigate with them, that's someone you can learn from. I'm telling you, I wish to God I had someone like I'm trying to be for you. When I was coming up, there was no one. I had 4 VCR tapes with Larry Williams, and one Secrets of Short-Term Trading. He did like I don't know if he was a keynote speaker. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what it was. He was a keynote speaker for some event, and those are the tapes I had. I had a course by Don Fishback, 90% options trading, which is trash. Don, if you're listening, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it really was garbage. And the books that I wasted money on. And I said it many times before. Why do I keep them? Because they have sentimental value. Not because there's any value between the covers of those books. But I spent a lot of money. I worked hard to make the money to buy those books over the years, collecting them. And I just can't bring it to throw them away. And they're not valuable enough to give to anybody and say, here, I don't want to have this anymore. Here, you learn from this. Because it's all trash. It's all garbage. You want to hear how to do something? Let the story start with, here's what not to do. And if you want to find out real quick, if you're ready or someone else is ready to learn, if their attention span will not permit them to listen to someone tell you or others, this is what you want to avoid. You, that person listening that feels that way, you are the waste of time. You are. Because the point I've gotten to from the beginning of this discussion, it's going to be far more harder than you think it's ever going to be. And I've told everyone that's ever listened to me in the last 3 years, this is extremely hard. 30 years I've been doing this. These candlesticks are not new to me. But the way the markets are behaving is. And anybody that's been trading for a longer period than 2 years, 3 years, some of you just now started. You have no idea what you're walking into and how much harder it is. Anyone that has been trading for a long period of time, and I'm saying 5 years or more, I think that's a fair amount of time. You're not new. And you have seen market environments that are not like this. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm referring to. And it's not some kind of cryptic message. This market is behaving differently. It is going to be hard for you to learn in this environment. But learning in this environment will make you so much better. So much better than it was for me. And we had, well, by definition, in terms of what we've seen in recent years in terms of volatility, it was like a snail's crawl. Where if you got 3 handles on the day, then you did well. That was a good move in the morning. 3 handles. 3 handles. People's stop losses are bigger than that now.